Good evening, everyone, to this evening presentation, this very special event. I'm very excited tonight. So, as usual, when we have a guest from abroad, we will do English, and I apologize for my bad English at the very beginning of this live stream. So people from abroad can listen and do enjoy properly this live streaming together. There will not be any translation, so we don't lose much time because we want to focus on the answers and the comments Biréli will give us tonight. So I really welcome you all from many countries. You are connecting online tonight to the Musicoff live streaming event. And I have to say, I'm very shaking. I'm excited to be the guest for such a fantastic artist. He's a living legend to me, and I've been listening his guitar playing, his music since I was very young. So it's a fantastic occasion, and I'm feeling very grateful for this fantastic live streaming you will see tonight. We did have some issues also today with Bireli frying up his mic today for the connection, but he did want to find a way to get online tonight with us and not to leave anyone behind. So he got connected with the new phone, and he found a way to have a proper setup. He will play a bit, so let's enjoy, guys. In 25 seconds I will just open up the live streaming so we can just introduce our guest. And anyway, you have very many, guys. Feel free to share this live streaming on your social channel as usual, so we will give a chance to more people to see the incredible Bireli Lagrene tonight. Okay, guys, let's get ready to rumble. So I have to thank a friend. I mean, it's one of the several Discord community of Musicoff community. We spoke about 1 month ago, and he said, would you like to meet and do a live interview with Bireli Lagrene? I said, of course. Where do I need to sign for this kind of occasion? But I have a contact with him, so it would be nice to let's see if he wished to do this kind of stuff. So thank you very much, Luigi Pucci, for your interest and your liaison with Bireli. Really thank you. Good evening, everyone. Guys, you are very many, so feel free to get on. I suggest you, if you are looking at this live stream on Facebook, it's better if you can get on our Twitch channel. The video and audio quality will be a lot better, and your comments can be linked immediately on this side of the live, not the other side. Let me see. Yeah, this side of the live stream, but only if you are looking this live from Twitch or YouTube. So it's the same link for YouTube. It's youtube.com/musicoffcommunity, wherever you are. So anyway, I said I will say I spoke just quite enough. Without further ado, I will introduce you Mr. Bireli Lagrene. Hello, Bireli. Good evening.
Hello, my dear Thomas. Hi, everyone.
Thanks a lot for being with us. Really, it's a wonderful moment for me.
My pleasure.
So, at least at the very end, we got a solution. You got a solution with your mobile phone, so at least we can speak, you can play, and we don't need to postpone this live streaming together. You're just a genius.
Thanks. It seems to work fine. I'm so glad.
Yeah, indeed. So let's get this started, my friend. So I have a couple of questions I wish to ask, and then at some point, as I said already, you will have your secret guest we use to bring some friend, and that will show up. We'll do a proper hello, and then he has a question for you. And of course, it's for the answer is for all the people that are looking this live streaming at the moment. So first of all, I want to start from the roots in this live streaming with you in this small interview. And the figure of Django Reinhardt seems to be very predominant in your personal history. I mean, besides playing the same instrument and music style, you also share the same origins, as you both come from Manouche families. So I guess it's quite correct, the definition. It's Romani Manouche families. Yeah. How do you
I guess
feel?
so.
Yeah. How do you feel in the role of being not only a guitar ambassador, but also being an ambassador of your heritage? What do you think?
Um, to be quite frank, I never thought about it, actually. You know, it's just that as you were saying, as that I was growing up with Django Reinhardt's music, and who taught me a lot, through his records. But I never really thought of, by the fact of being a gypsy or manouche, it was never that actually important to me. I just wanted to be a regular, normal musician without thinking of, you know, just the fact that I'm a gypsy would make anything special, which I don't think, And I'm just a regular musician without any
Okay. No, I mean
confusion.
you have a even the tradition of the gypsy. It's fantastic. I mean, you have had fantastic musicians with the unique styles, and so that was the question about. I mean, and yeah. But
I,
anyway,
I don't really know, it's, but, whatever.
okay, okay. But anyway, coming from a musical family, you have been breathing music since you were born, as both your father as grandfather, as far as I know, were guitarists. So you put your hands on your instrument for the very first time at a very, very early age. How did you start learning, and what do you remember of your learning process, which perhaps wasn't as academic as the one we are used to nowadays?
Oh man, you know, some people might think that I'm, how do you say, pretentious or wow. But honestly, I don't remember because since my brain can remember, I already played. So must have been 4 or something. Because I can remember when I already played when my memory started to go, and I was listening to lots of records. My father was, like you said, indeed a guitar player. So I grew up in a big family, musician family, and so that made things a lot for me a lot easier because there was always music around, and so for me it was almost like normal to pick up an instrument, because of so much music around every
Yeah,
day.
I see. And then you started playing, just just following the records, or you had something in mind?
Yes, I guess that I probably had something in mind because I wouldn't stop practicing. As soon as I would come home from school, I would play with my brother because my brother is a guitar player as well. I used to have a band with him, years ago. He was playing rhythm guitar, and so him and I would play a lot together. Um, listening to as much records as possible, but anything, not only Django Reinhardt. I
Sure.
whatever we could find, we could grab our, we could get our hands on. We would just put it on the turntable and check it out and what it was and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course you are a musician with tons of different influences. I mean,
Hmm.
even the experience you have had in your career, but we will talk about it. Then
Yeah.
when you hit the your 14th birthday, more or less, you released your first album, and it was a live recording, Roots to Django, live at the Krokodil, if I'm not
Right.
wrong.
Hmm.
And then you composed also most of the tunes. Can you recall your feelings of being a prodigy teenager projected into a music business world? How was those feeling in those days?
I didn't really was conscious all about this, because as a young kid, all I wanted is to play music, and this whole stuff came at the same time when I was 12 or 13, I think. I was like uh, the attraction in those days, because in those days there were not so many young musicians as today, as of today, and so in those days, 45 years ago, it was quite interesting for the elders to see a young guy coming up and playing guitar. So, but I don't know. I wasn't really aware. Yeah, the agent would go crazy. The manager was, and everybody wanted to be my manager in those days,
I can
which was
imagine that.
which was quite funny. And some did, and but I just didn't know nothing about it. I got a little bit paid. Most of the money went to my parents because I wasn't 18 yet in those days. So, but I didn't really care. I found it interesting. To be playing in front of an audience, being so young, and it was fun. Then I would come home and I would play with my schoolmates, and you know, I must say, in spite of all this craziness in those days, I persuade myself to have still a regular childhood. So thank God I wasn't too spoiled in those days.
Indeed. Listen, Bireli, would you like to play something? Maybe a beat with an acoustic guitar you may have over there.
Sure, I especially brought one. It's sitting right next to me, actually. Just want to see.
Would be lovely. Whatever you want. Would be just a
I got this.
amazing gift. Yeah.
Okay, let me just. I'll just play something. I have nothing special in mind.
Whatever. I mean, whatever you will play will be special for us. Really, it's a great gift. Yeah,
Okay, we'll see
yeah,
about that.
yeah.
Okay. That was a little warm up.
Yeah, and you told it wasn't something special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free to play even with the guitar on your legs. I mean, don't be that
Mhm.
uncomfortable. Feel free to it. I know you can play even upside down on any instrument, but yeah, just so you can just go next.
Oh man.
Yeah. Listen, really, just a few years later of that first recording, still
Mhm.
very young, I know you played with what can be considered one of the greatest guitar ensemble of all times. I mean, the trio Aldi Meola, Paco de Lucia, and John McLaughlin. Three guitarists with very distinctive personalities, but that created incredible magic together. Do you feel you took something from them? If yes, what did you take away from that particular experience?
Oh man, I was blown away because I never would have imagined that I was able to play with these monster guitar players. One day, and at that very young age. So I was really very pleased, and I knew who they were already. Even though I was young, but I was already seeking everybody out when I was at that age. In those days, and so I was. It was amazing for me to play with these wonderful guitar players who I got to know later on. Of course, we became friends and stuff, and once in a while we do still see each other. But that was amazing and a great chance for me to be able to play with those guys in those days. And I've learned a lot. It's probably through them that I uh, learned how to play also in a different way. Not only the stuff that the music that Django Reinhardt and Stefan Grappelli would do. So they are part also of my musical knowledge that I've encountered later on. So these guys are definitely part of it.
Yeah, it's so nice. I have another question about that later, maybe.
Okay.
But anyway, I just wish to introduce this secret guest. So,
I can't wait to see who that is.
yeah, I know. I can imagine. Mr. Secret Guest, can you hear me down there? Can you hear me? Just do a movement with your head. Yeah, I see, can you? So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really proud to bring this amazing musicians from Italy just to land a question to Biréli, Mr. Giuseppe Continenza. Hello. What's up?
Ciao, Biréli.
How are you, my dear friend?
How are you, my dear friend? I'm fine. You?
Fine. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah. We did a surprise.
That is a good surprise.
Yeah. We need to talk about so many things, man. Yeah.
Boy.
Wow. Yeah.
Did you think it was Giuseppe Bireli?
No, I never would have. It's funny because 30 minutes ago I had him on the phone. I texted him 30 minutes ago.
I didn't tell you nothing.
You kept the
I'm
secret.
a bad guy. I'm a bad guy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you very much for being with us, Giuseppe.
Thanks.
So,
it's my pleasure.
What question could you give to Biréli, knowing him since so long? You have been playing together and doing records together. So maybe you may grasp some specific question very interesting. What do you think?
Yes, sure. I can ask a few questions. No? How do you manage the production of a new album today? I mean, and what usually inspire you to take a special direction? Biréli did this new album called Storytelling that is very amazing because he used acoustic and classical guitar with special effects and sounds so wonderful. And he get a new direction that nobody could expect for him.
Yeah, I've tried to do that because it's funny because it might seem surprising or most of the people, which I do, of course, normally I'm very well prepared when I go into the studio as we are musicians. But for this particular record, I just let myself go, and I also told the musicians, that if we do the record, let's just walk in the studio, and so nothing was prepared, and everything was made on the spot. So we didn't even know what tunes we were going to play, and and the whole stuff just became form while we were in the studio, and so every guitar sound you may hear or whatever happened with us, the three musicians, just happened really. Everything is up to 90% improvised.
Yeah, but the thing that surprised me was the use of these effects that was really amazing. You make sound really in your way, because I know we play since 21 years now, and I know you so much. And when you played, it was such an incredible new sound. I love that.
Thank you, my
friend.
Yeah, I did love it too.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with this. Everything was improvised as well. So I had a few tricks with my pedals, and I just was be careful not to do too much because effect pedals can be
Yeah,
very dangerous if you don't properly know how to use them. It has to be in a musical
yeah.
context. So
And
I hope I hope I
another
made it
thing
right.
about Biréli is that every concert we made, he played completely different. I was so amazed. I remember the first time we did this tour, he was playing every night completely different and some fresh ideas all the time. It was the most natural, I think, guitar player I played with. Definitely, it's one of the best in the world.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
lovely.
have to. I'm going to spend you a drink next time.
Yes, that's it. And a good pasta with fish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you are in love with food, guys, it's time to get
Yeah.
Rome, and I will bring you and I will give you some very special, delicious to taste beside all the monuments and
Definitely,
churches.
Definitely
definitely.
Rome. Rome, man. Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, are you planning to do something together, you and Giuseppe Bireli, for the upcoming years?
Absolutely.
That's
And
it.
I think Giuseppe can talk about, we have
Yes,
quite a
we
few
get
surprises.
we get this new project is we play a project around Django in a modern way with a symphonic orchestra. Will be this istituzione sinfonica abruzzese, and we arrange a very we get kind of free date right now of tour in December. We will play very different arrangement on the music of Django, a little bit modern, and it will be arranged by Roberto Modinelli, that is a great arranger, that he will
Mm.
arrange all the parts for the symphony orchestra. So it will be a very new project, very interesting.
Yeah, completely new. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's hope it will be a chance to be live pretty soon, at least at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Will be
right,
really
right.
amazing. Yeah. Yeah, Giuseppe, thank you very much for your time
thank you
and for
for having me
showing up.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Thank you very
pleasure.
much.
Ciao
À
Birelli.
bientôt. À bientôt, mon ami.
Ciao.
A
Ciao, ciao,
bientôt.
ciao.
Ciao.
Au revoir.
Ciao.
Thanks for coming.
So, did you like your
That was,
guest?
that was a nice surprise. Wow.
Yeah, he
Amazing.
told me you spoke just earlier today. So I said that will be
Yeah.
a very nice surprise.
Well, thanks. Thanks,
Yeah.
Thomas. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. I told you, yeah, the main focus of this kind of live events is to give a chance to our guests to feel home. So if we have
Right.
friends, we can do the job together. It's a lot better anyway.
That's beautiful, man. Wow.
So I want to ask this new topic. I mean, your career, however, it's not focused on gypsy music and Django, also, of course, but also spans as far as jazz and electric fusion, having played alongside legends of jazz such as, I would say, Benny Goodman and Gil Evans Orchestra. But how do you manage to be so versatile? This is a very crucial question for us.
Good question, also, Thomas. I must say, I don't know. Maybe it's the maybe just a simple fact of being hungry after music. After different styles and because I was always seeking stuff. I didn't wanted to stay on one spot, even at my early age. So I don't know. That's maybe part of it. Always had to have that enthusiasm of always going further, not
Yeah.
to be afraid of going other ways in music. So I always being such a multiple guitar player. Where um, people have sometimes problems to put me in a corner because since I'm always I keep just doing. But the fact is, the truth are that I've started with the music of Django Reinhardt, and I still love him. I consider him one of the top 5 guitar players, historically speaking. And but you know how it is. Some days I decided to go my own way, and it is what it is now.
Yeah, so you play lots of different instruments. First of all,
Hmm.
bass, I mean, but I've seen you playing also
Oh yeah.
violin and other stuff. So, i- how is it to change instrument for your kind of expression? I mean, your ideas goes into guitar in one way you are very used to since the very beginning. So when you change your setup, your instrument, how do you connect instrument and ideas? I'm very curious about that.
Well, it's very simple. I put myself as I, if I would be an actor who just plays a different role in a film somehow, and I put myself into that particular instrument, what I ever can play. So I become a piano player or a bass player or a violinist, you know, within my possibilities, of course, because my main instrument is still the guitar. This is what I do best. But it's interesting, I've always been interested in different instruments because I always felt that it helped the guitar, to go further and not eventually to play like a guitar player also, just to put these other instruments melodically, and whatever those instruments can do into my guitar style or playing. So, and I figured that it helps a lot. It just brings the
Yeah.
guitar, it gives it maybe a different aspect or, whatever, maybe some different phrasing or whatever, like saxophone players, many guitar players love saxophone players, which I do, of course, too. And we always look for that special kind of thing, everyone does.
Yeah. Yeah. So it struck me when you said somehow I do all this kind of stuff, that somehow, I mean, it hides many listening and practicing and concerts and hungriness also, as you
A
said.
lot of
Yeah.
a lot of sweat also.
Yeah. Do you change your approach to music in general when you play a different instrument? I mean, I'm a guitar player myself, and I can play roughly some other instrument, and usually I get a different kind of inspiration when I play another instrument. Does it happens even at your that high level? I mean, you're not a common bass player; you are an outstanding bass player. Does it change the inspiration when you change the mood with the instrument you change?
Yes, because I from that moment on I become a bass player, and you will not hear me play guitar notes on a bass, for instance. And many of my friends and fellow musician friends also, many often tell me, especially now, when I did this Jaco Pastorius tribute with the Multiquarium big band, a wonderful French big band with one of the,
Yeah.
some of the greatest French musicians, horn players, are in that band. And we had so many concerts coming up, this summer, but everything got canceled, but we'll come to that somehow later, because of this pandemic. So I've done this record, I don't know, maybe some of you have heard about, and that was fun to do because I completely became a bass player in this order of, without forgetting that it was a tribute to Jaco, and Jaco is one of my heroes, as much as Django and all the great musicians, and so that was fun to do, since I've been playing bass, electric bass, shortly, after I've started playing the guitar, without even knowing or hearing about Jaco, which is an instrument that always fascinated me, and yeah, so to answer your question properly, uh,
Yeah, you did.
I just become a musician. Whatever instrument I play, I become that musician, I guess. That also can be a bass player, for instance. And I get also
Okay.
calls now because people call me up to play
Just
bass
to
on
play
their
the
thing,
play the bass. Yeah.
which is which is so surprising for me, because that never happened. But people know now more and more, and it's I will continue to do it because we still have concerts coming up with this big band, with the Multiquarium big band where I play bass. They're all gonna come this summer, hopefully, or this fall. So I still have a lot
Yeah.
of work to do on the bass.
Still
Still
lovely.
there.
Yeah. There is always space, room for improvements, I'm sure, but you're filling the room pretty big now at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, I didn't. People might think that I practice guitar since that lockdown and stuff. But all I did lately was practicing bass at home instead of practicing guitar because I think practicing guitar is for me. I'm sorry, I don't. I hope that the other musicians don't listen to what I say right now, or the younger guys. But of course, I still have to practice. But sometimes it gets so much over my head that it's so boring. It's an instrument that I've been knowing for 50 years, so it's good to have a break sometimes. Not to practice too much.
Yeah. It's another lover, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I figured when I don't play 3 weeks the guitar, after I touch it, like now, I promise you I haven't played in a month maybe, and it's always fresher. You become different ideas and stuff, and so it's quite fun. It's good to lay out, to do that once in a while, not too much, but once in a while it's good, just to give it a rest. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I guess
know that
so.
I need it.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about bass, could you tell me something about your experience with Jaco? I mean, how did you two met at the beginning? And you two recorded together the album Stuttgart Aria first.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you went on tour in 1986 with Jaco and Thomas Boroch, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was. Yes, 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 right. He was on drums, exactly.
Yeah, on drums, yeah. From Poland, I guess it was. Yeah.
I think he was. No, hold on. I think it was. Was he from? He was from Austria, I think.
From Austria, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was working with him, with Jago, and did he influence your playing in some way? I mean, you were also very young those days.
Oh, he certainly did. I've heard about Jaco. I remember I was in London playing a concert at some club, and a friend of mine told me we went to a record store in London, and he said, "Man, there's this guy that you definitely have to check him out." And that was like in 81, 82. So we went to the record store, and I bought his first record, and as as we all, I just couldn't believe my ears. You know, the sound, what this man made out of an instrument that is supposed to be, you know, uh, how do you say, in the background, and he just took it out front, and he became what he was then, of course, and it was how it was playing with him. I was so nervous, man. I remember I was maybe 19 at that time, and I met him in where did I met him? In New York, I think. Yeah, back
Hmm.
in '85, maybe. I just went to see him. He was playing. Luckily, he was playing at some club. I'm sure many people know that story now. And he was playing at another club where I was from, where I was playing, and I walked over every time I had because in the States you have to wait an hour and then you have to play the
Yeah.
second show. So I would disappear between two shows and seek Jaco out, And he was there for a week, I think, and I was there for a week. So I ended up doing this, and then when my second show was over, I went over again, and one night happened, that he recognized me, that I was there all the time. So he was like, "Hey, man, I said, "Well, I'm playing next door," and he said to me, "What's your name?" I said, "So and so." I said, I was lucky because somehow he heard of me, you know. So he said, "Hey, why don't you bring your guitar tomorrow, or something?" So this is how our short relationship, I might say, began. So we jammed. I brought my guitar over after my show was over. I went over, and I think we played until 6 in the morning.
Yeah, that's
And
amazing.
next day we met again, and then we started talking because I was there with my agent, and my agent told me it would be great if we could, if we could have him tour with us. I said, "Yeah, right, of course. He's gonna he's gonna do that." And at my great, surprise, he agreed. So 6 months after we met over here in Europe, and we did two tours in the same year of '86. Yeah.
The one with Thomas Borch, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, can you imagine it was a shaking situation. I mean, you drove by to see the live, and he said, "Bring your guitar tomorrow so we can play together." Yeah.
Yeah. It was just amazing. It was at the same level as if I would have met, I don't know, Mozart or Django. People
Yeah.
like that, or Wes Montgomery. Same that same impact. Amazing. Plus, if
Yeah.
you consider the age I had, 19, I was shaking, man, from head to my feet. I was shaking, and then I got to know him better, and sometimes I would even forget when I was on stage with him, playing. I would look over at him, and I just could not play just by the simple effect of seeing him. I said, "Wow, here's this guy, you know, doing the bass." And so he would look at me. He said, "What's happening? Play, Bireli." I said, "Okay." I start playing again. It was so surprising because I would just stop playing and listen to him. You know, Amazing.
I
But
see.
my greatest wish would have been, to play nowadays with him. But unfortunately, he's not among us anymore.
Here
And
anymore, yeah.
yeah, and that was also not such a good time for him because he wasn't doing that well. And so it was a lot of fun, but a lot of sadness also. In those days for me when I played with him, because I could see that he wasn't doing very well. As all of my friends musicians and those who knew him. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
guess your these memories are very precious, and the way you are telling, I can nearly feel the feeling you had those days. So yeah,
Yeah.
very a suggestive way to remember something. I mean, it seems like you are reliving again that situation. Like it's very lovely. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're very welcome. There are things that are like, how do you say, deep inside me, and most of the time I don't think about it. But when I have, when people ask me like you, then it comes out, and I have to remember all that road again. I did with them, and it's very moving. It's very moving, and even nowadays, me being 54 now, it's I still look at it as one of my greatest experience I ever had in my whole career is to be able to play with this genius.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Listen, Virelli, would you fancy to be more comfortable and play something, even with the other amazing instrument you had before? You said, "Can you hear this?" Yes, I said, "Yeah, I can hear that the instrument." I don't know if you can do
Oh, oh,
something
oh, oh,
else. Yeah, whatever.
yes. Uh, I was just doing some Zabinul sounds today. it's
Yeah,
all,
give it a go.
it's all, most of it are analog sounds. I love analog sounds. You see if it works. That's it. And if I don't do this, I'm a synthesizer freak also. I tweak the whole day. I tweak on knobs and
Yeah.
killing
So
time.
maybe you can play something with guitar so we can see you properly while you're playing. What do you think about it?
Yes,
You wish?
I'll become another actor now.
Yeah, another actor. You just need to change your masks.
Let me see.
What? Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah, someone that was outstanding, terrific job, really. Someone
thank you.
said, yeah, in the comments, he said, uh, I'm translating, he said, Biréli just said he is never rehearsing. That's why. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you played an amazing thing with that guitar in a very uncomfortable position, and then we have been amazed completely. There are dozens of comments in the live stream. You can see it back later.
Really? Oh,
Thank you
that's
very
nice.
much.
Thank you,
It was
guys.
a fantastic gift. Really.
Thank you.
Amazing, really.
Now
Listen,
what it'd be if I would practice every day.
yeah. So people, you need to practice more so you can play like Bireli Lagrene, you know.
Oh man.
It's very nice. Listen, Bireli, in your career, you have been collaborating with many musicians from very different backgrounds. I mean, Joe Zawinul, Stanley Clarke, Larry Coryell, Dennis Chambers, and Victor Bailey, just to name a few. I mean, what is the key to be contaminated and still stay true to yourself, to your style?
You know what? I've got to encounter this lately. not too many, maybe too long ago, a few years ago. I encountered it because I was never like that. The answer is, I'll be honest with you, simplicity. You know, not some musician might say or behave like in a way that yes, who are you? Acting strange, actually. I mean, nothing wrong with these people. Don't get me wrong. But I think I don't look at it this way. If a musician plays well, or there's stuff that has to be shared, and the fact that I was and I am still lucky, to play with these outstanding musicians, is and they always come back to me because they probably see in me somebody very simple, somebody very funny, that never takes things seriously, and I always make them laugh somehow, So I think my being a funny guy, while being a musician is helps a lot, and so that's why I say simplicity, and I give so much, when I play with somebody else, is that I always say music has to be shared together, not to be, played against somebody.
Exactly.
It's a common thing that has to be connected. This is what I learned, throughout all these years.
I guess you took the most important part. I mean, relationship,
Yeah,
simplicity.
you know.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm so happy that tonight are looking beside many people, but a lot of very famous artists in Italy. They are looking this live streaming tonight, enjoying the show, just not the playing, but I mean the history that comes with your words. So I'm very proud of the Italian community following this kind of special events. I
Oh
mean,
man, I
it doesn't happen every day to meet Bireli Lagrene, and so I'm very proud of you guys. Thank you very much for being here. And
yeah, I thank
really, but
them. I thank them also from the bottom of my heart, man. Those people who are watching, thanks a lot.
yeah. Listen, let's talk about today and your projects. I
Hmm.
mean, despite the current pandemic situation, we hope at some point we get back to playing in front of real audiences. What plans do you have in the future? And are there still new challenges for you? What do you think?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I still need a lot to learn. I guess as we all do, because the worst case scenario would be if a musician would say, "Well, now I've reached the ceiling. I have nothing to learn anymore." You know, and thank God that most of us are not like this, and that
Yeah.
we hope to go on and progress and and practice. And just enjoying what you do. As musicians, but because that's all I can do. For instance, I can't do anything else. I don't know. I was born to be a musician, I guess.
It would be a
And
waste if you wouldn't. So,
future plan wise, Thomas, I don't know. We have concerts that are keep coming up, and then 2 weeks later they're canceled right before. So there are no plans for now. There are, there's been so many things that have been canceled that I don't even dare to say. Well, in July I'm playing there or here because of fearness that it'll be cancelled again. So I just have to see. I mean, we just have to see what happens if things keep on getting cancelled. It'll be a big problem. It is already one, of course, but the problem can be even bigger. So,
and recording, maybe collaboration with recording a new album instead, waiting for a chance to play live. I mean,
everything is on standby right now. Actually, and the record company don't even. It's the same thing, It just it became such a vicious circle that for now that we even the record companies they don't plan anything. I mean, it's always you can always record something, but how is it going to work out? When is it going to come out? Because when you do a record, you have to do promotion, you have to be out there, and without promotion, without touring, you cannot promote a record properly. So it all hangs together in this vicious
Circle.
Circle momentarily.
Yeah. Momentarily. So let's hope we get out of this shit pretty soon.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Now I have a question from a very close friend, and is an outstanding Italian musician. His name is Ciro Manna. He has been playing all across the world with Alain Caron and Richard Bonnat as a guitar player, and he's very fond of you. And I said, Ciro, do you have any question you wish to ask to Bireli? Yeah, I have one. Please ask this one. So, and he's looking at it, and I will send you a link. You need to listen to Ciro. He's a fantastic player. Yeah,
I must have seen them. I must have seen them.
Probably.
I'm sure.
And he said, Bireli, by looking at you playing, I have the sensation that every note comes out so natural, but at the same time, you play really fast and complex phrases. So my question is, do you think all the notes you play instead of play around the chords, or you just let your soul go on without thinking too much?
Oh, man. That's a tough question. I don't know. I think from what I can go out of is to respect the harmonical procedure as much as I can, and as we all do, as we musicians all do. But I don't really think. Actually, I think at that particular moment, but I'm not going to think about the next notes or stuff. It's a certain fluidness, where once you get going, it's like a horse once he starts riding. As long as you don't stop him, he will go.
Just goes. Yeah. It has always been like that.
Well, when I was younger, many people considered me as a fast guitar player, although I don't appreciate being fast. You can be fast sometimes when you play a fast run, but even if you play fast, it has to mean something. It has to be able to touch your heart, and it has to be perfect in order. I mean, for me, because I place myself on such a high level, and I'm very demanding of myself, of what I do, and so it's. But fast means not tasteless. You can play fast and be very tasteful.
Yeah, I
Sometimes.
know. Just listen to your records, That's it.
Yes, But the funny thing, when you get older, as I do, like the last 10 years, I really don't. I don't know. You have to be able to do both. Being very melodic, and not necessarily fast, but fast is part of the deal. As long as most people would think that if you don't play fast, you cannot play the guitar, which is totally not true. I mean, look at people like Wes, or
Yeah.
Wes didn't need to play fast. He played 3 notes, and that was it. He killed everybody.
That's it. Yeah, the problem is that you kill everybody, even if you play a couple of notes or many notes. You just kill everybody anyway. Yeah.
Wow.
Listen, Can you tell us about the collaboration with Sylvain Luc? I mean, that as I remember all those records and experience, and for me just to be a listener, I mean, was a terrific experience. How was playing with him, composing and recording and going live, etc.?
Oh man, Silva is he's just a sweetheart, you know. Uh, I consider him like one of my best friends, and he's an amazing, talented guitar player who who knows his instrument and he just plays, you know, stuff that I personally never was thinking that playing stuff like that on the guitar was possible, because he has such a richness of harmony and knowing about the his way of playing, and the way he plays chords and all that melodic progression and chords following. It's just it's just amazing. It's just amazing. His approach is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Really a phenomenal guitar player. That's why I love him so much, you know. And we played so many times together. And but you see, now you told me something, because there is something in mind that we should do something together nextly.
That would be fantastic.
And now I don't know what it's going to be. As a matter of fact, I, you know, like just like Giuseppe, but Silva called me yesterday, and I still have to call him back about a project. And
Yeah, maybe next time we can
maybe, yeah.
do an interview with Sylvan and you can be the secret guest.
Oh yeah, that would be fun, man. Definitely.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Mm.
Bireli, we have been working with Musicoff, especially in the last year, a lot
Mhm.
in for and with young musicians. And in December, we have launched the Musicoff Young project, in which
Yes.
we interview young new talents and put them in contact with some great professionals. You also started your career as a teenager when there was nothing like YouTube or social networks, you know.
Yeah.
Is there any advice you will give to young musicians, speaking freely? What you will say to young musicians that wish to be professionals and to make music a complete part of their life, as a job also, I mean, as a, not, I would not say career, I mean a lifestyle, the main project of their life.
Well, it all depends if they already have a job. You know, if they have another job beside, they will probably choose the secure side, and they will do their jobs, and music will always come secondly. You know, that's why I also know a lot of people who do that. You know, who are great musicians, but they prefer to do their regular day job and play sometimes. You know, on weekends. But it all depends if you want to do this. You know, if the young people, and you know, which is amazing. This is why, you know, this last 10 or 15 years, this I just find it absolutely wonderful that we have so many young talented musicians nowadays, which was not the case in my days. You know, in my days, when somebody was as young as me, you know, like I mentioned before, it was a, I mean, I'm not talking about me, but just to make people understand, it was a miracle, you know, that those kind of things weren't around in my days, or I mean even way before my days. You know, people were, if you were a good musicians, if you were a good musicians, you had a certain mature age already. You know, nowadays, man, you go on YouTube, these cats play their butt off. I'm sorry to say this, but they play
Yeah, yeah.
their butt off, and they're like 14, 15 maybe. And they play all this amazing stuff, which all of a sudden became so easy to play with for them, you know. And man, I remember I've studied the 24 Caprices on guitar 25 years ago, and I was just about able to play 3 Caprices of them, and now, man, these guys are playing it back and forth, and it just shows how um, the, the the music and the musician with their instruments, how especially the young musicians, teenies actually, it just shows how they how that whole music thing progressed, and they're just getting better and better. So that's why honestly I don't know what to say, because they already have everything, so there's not much that I can add except to do what they already can do already, because there's so much power and enthusiasm and respect for the music, even if some of them are maybe still a bit green, but that's normal, they still learning, and but I think they're on the right path, whatever happens. So I don't see any not good musicians anymore, man, when they're so young. They're all good, so it's hard to find a musician that cannot play. They all can play. I mean, go on YouTube. I mean, that's, I'm amazed to see that.
This
So
kind of stuff, yeah.
so my advice is, they should keep doing what they do, and if there are those younger musicians who don't consider themselves good enough, I'm sure the possibilities nowadays, especially today's, with where you can pick up, you can learn from whatever possible internet possibilities. You can learn from everywhere now. You can learn the fastest lines and just turn them down and learn them slow, and so there are no limits actually nowadays anymore. And thank God somehow. So I think this whole thing is great, and they should, if they have the spirit for it to become professionals one day, which shouldn't be a problem, but only they can decide, you know. And
Yeah.
but I wish them from the bottom of my heart. I really wish them all the best, and they should, whatever happens, they should continue what they do. I can only
Yeah.
encourage them.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's very, very kind of you. Very kind of you. I wish to share an idea we did have this year together with not just Musicoff inside, but
Mm,
together with many Italian musicians, I mean professionals, thinking
right.
about what we could do for young people. And we thought, beside all the fact that you can find everything on YouTube, you can find lessons and licks and whatever,
Yeah.
I felt they don't have many chance to cooperate with others as we did have in the past. So we placed up a new platform. The name is Discord. It's a very easy communication platform where you can write down and be in the same room and talking and doing video stuff together. And
Hmm.
then we wanted to start this project with this Musicoff young guys. I mean young, they are very young, from 15 to 20, 22,
Hmm.
Then in the last month, they did they were divided in 8 different teams with 3, 4, 5 people each team, and they wrote down and recorded and arranged and made a video for 8 different songs in a month. So I guess I want to show you just 1 minute of one of these videos they have done,
Sure.
just to have your feeling. I mean, not just about the performance, but considering they are from thousands of miles of distance, they never met before, and in 1 month they started from scratch doing some stuff. And I guess this can be very important for the music, giving,
Right.
especially now because of the pandemic, so people can have a chance to meet, even if digitally, but meet and get out from
Mhm.
these solitudes we are living nowadays. So I will show you this small video. This is one of the team. I've shown this video last Tuesday in this event we have done, Musicoff Young event. So just
Okay.
listen 1 minute so you can get a proper idea.
Sure.
So the song still goes again, but
Yeah,
what do
man.
you think? What do you think about this kind of project? I mean, not just the music. I mean, the idea
I think
to bring
it's
people together.
it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. And one thing I forgot to mention before is you see more and more women playing guitar.
Yeah, we
Isn't
have
that right?
5 women, amazing women playing in this young project. Those are
Imagine,
amazing.
you know. But I think it's great, man. It's wonderful. See,
Um,
it just joins what I said before. It's amazing to see how well these young kids play today. It
you know
proves
what
it.
happened also when they finished projecting this song in some of the teams, because we started the project quite not many months away, so some of the teams didn't have the drummer or the bass player or the sound engineer. They had a chance on this Discord to ask two professional, I mean big famous musicians in Italy, to help them, and they did it.
Yeah,
Someone of them did the mix for them. Enrico Santa Caterina, it's a very famous guitarist in Italy, and he did the
yeah,
mix
yeah.
for one of the teams. And so I'm really amazed about this stuff, because if I can see a bright side of this pandemic situation, I guess is this chance to let people get closer, because now we have nothing to lose and everything to
Right.
gain. So I,
Absolutely.
I really wanted to share this to you, especially because I have seen in our talking in the past few weeks, you're a very high spirit man. I mean, you are very dedicated. So I just wanted
Hmm.
to give you just a small gift about what we're doing here in Italy with the young guys.
Yeah, man. Bravo, really. Absolutely. beautiful, really.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, listen, Bireli, what are the records you will bring in a desert island? The music you cannot leave behind.
Um, Bach, maybe. I think. I don't know. Now, don't tell me what record or what movement or what
Artists, okay.
whatever. Um, Probably a few chicken. I could make barbecues instead of music. Because
I
I'm not a fisherman. I
definitely
cannot
love
fish.
you.
I cannot fish. So I would bring a big box of frozen food, and I forget the music, man.
You enjoy your life, your life, and then the music will come after it, isn't it?
Yeah, I would find a way to build myself a guitar, even if it would have two strings. I would build something up with a few pieces of wood, and I would play
And do
myself.
some music.
But
Anyway, you,
Thomas, this question is always very tricky. But because what would you bring? I really have no idea. There are so many of these fabulous, wonderful musicians. I don't know.
I
I don't
didn't
know.
say how many. You can pick
You
everything
said
you
one.
want. No, everything you want. How many you want? I mean, just to taste what kind of music you will suggest people that, or just to say what you listen usually when you don't play, when you are not doing music yourself.
I, it's hard since I'll be very, I'll, be, I'll tell you the truth. I don't listen much to music. To tell you the truth, I know this is not very. Uh, how do you say? But I think it's. I don't know what it is, man. Once all of a sudden you stop listening. I remember when I was way younger. When I would go on tour, I would have I wouldn't be able to leave my house without my those Walkman or whatever it is, or DAT
Yeah.
or mini disc. I always had my headphones around my neck, and I just couldn't leave the house without it. So I would be constantly uh, into the music, and I would practice for myself and seeking out how they would do. So I always had my favorites with me, which was Weather Report, you know, uh, uh, some Django stuff, some Wes Montgomery, Pat Martino, and rock bands also, AC/DC, Deep Purple. I love that music as well, man. This is I grew up with that music as well, in parallel, actually.
Yeah,
So,
thanks. That's a proper answer. I mean, it's your style of looking at music and enjoy
right,
life and then play
yeah.
after it. It at least it works. Looking at your results, your final
It,
results, it works. Yeah.
it somehow it works. It's not that because there are many musicians who are in my same cases. You at a certain time or a certain age, you just stop listening so much to music. I mean, I'm still listening, of course. I would be an idiot if I would not listen to music, but not anymore. Not on a regular basis. Everyday basis anymore. Because this shit would drive me. At the same time, I love it, but it would drive me crazy also. At the same time,
Yeah.
because I've been so many years in surrounding by music. Sometimes silence is a beautiful music as well.
The sound of silence.
Oh yeah, it's music as well. I would say. I cannot
Yeah.
sleep when I go to sleep. I always have my TV. I'm a TV freak. I mean, now even more because of this.
Serious addicted. Netflix.
Yeah, seriously, man. So what I do, when I felt, the TV is constantly on when I sleep. I just prepare my thumb to put on the on the
Skip
on
next.
the, on the remote before I fall asleep. I just click on the remote and that's it. Or sometimes I put the timer on, so the TV goes out by itself.
Good.
Yeah,
So we have done quite a few questions, and thank you
haven't we,
very
man?
much
Well,
for
yeah,
your kindness and your your answers. I guess you gave me, so I guess even to many people, uh, a flare of hope also, and
yeah.
you brought us with you back in those days with some of your amazing adventure you did have in the past. And if you wish, just to close up and wrap up this talking together, if you wish to play just something else before we leave, so we can say a proper goodbye. And if Giuseppe is still looking at you just here behind, so if you wish to play something again, and then we can say
No.
goodbye.
Mm. Where's my? Oh, I think here it is.
It's gone.
Yeah. Let me
Che
just
figata
do something
fotonica.
else because I'm already getting bored playing guitar. I'm gonna make it a little bit more interesting.
Wow, that's amazing. That drop down in tune was crazy. I mean, when you change the tuning and it's always in tune.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I
sometimes
love it.
she played tricks on me now, the guitar, because the strings weren't quite new enough. So sometimes you get into the intonation problems, but it was
Yeah.
almost okay. Not perfect, but
Th-
okay.
Thank you very much, Bireli. So
Mm.
just stay here so we can do a proper goodbye while I stop the live streaming now, so we can do also a proper goodbye with Giuseppe for a second.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
very much. You are outstanding musicians. I'm feeling honored for this night and grateful for your time and for everything you said tonight. And I'm sure this will be really precious for everyone that has been together with us tonight. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, and thanks for all the viewers. Love you guys.
Good
Stay
night.
safe.